Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. Today, I want to take a little time to talk about weaklings, about the underdog. Because I was reading in Ezekiel this morning, and, it's chapter 34, and God has just been talking about how the shepherds of Israel, the leaders that he appointed to take care of his people, they had done a pretty bad job. Rather than taking care of God's people, really, they took advantage of them. And if you think about that, how often do you feel like you're in that position, that you're the underdog, that somebody else has the power, has the ability to do the things, and you're just there kind of the victim of it all? I would say we usually wouldn't want to be in that position. Except, as I read these words from Ezekiel today, I was so encouraged by the thought that God loves the underdog. God looks out for the weakling. God cares for them because of his love. And I want to read, quite a bit of chapter 34 to you so that you can see just how much God loves the underdog. This is just after he has been speaking through Ezekiel, talking about his disappointment with the way the shepherds have been, quote, shepherding the flock, which really they haven't been doing. Starting in verse 7 of chapter 34, it says, "Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, because my flock lacks a shepherd, and so has been plundered and has become food for all the wild animals, and because my shepherds did not search for my flock, but cared for themselves rather than for my flock, therefore, O shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against the shepherds, and I will hold them accountable for my flock. I will remove them from tending the flock so that the shepherds can no longer feed themselves. I will rescue my flock from their mouths, and it will no longer be food for them." Okay, if that isn't good enough to know that God is going to work justice and he's going to remove the shepherds and take care of the flock, listen to how he will care for the flock. "For this is what the sovereign Lord says. I myself will search for my sheep and look after them." It's as if God is saying, I had appointed these people to do it, but they didn't do it. So now I'm going to do it. And we know that God will do it right. "As a shepherd looks after his scattered flock when he is with them, so I will look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered on a day of clouds and darkness. I will bring them out from the nations and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them into their own land. I will pasture them on the mountains of Israel, in the ravines, and in all the settlements of the land. I will tend them in a good pasture, and the mountain heights of Israel will be their grazing land. There they will lie down in good grazing land, and there they will feed in a rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. I myself will tend my sheep and have them lie down, declares the sovereign Lord. I will search for the lost and bring back the strays. I will bind up the injured and strengthen the weak. But the sleek and the strong I will destroy. I will shepherd the flock with justice." I don't know about you, but it is an incredibly comforting thing to me to consider God seeking me out, binding up my wounds, healing my injuries, and making me lie down in green pastures. I generally don't like feeling like a weakling, like the underdog, all needy and all that. But this passage reminds me that God will look after me. I don't have to be strong and powerful. I have to trust in my good shepherd. And I pray you are encouraged to do the very same thing today. Have a wonderful, Jesus-full day.